Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Oh, blimey. Hello, darlings, and it's been another mighty rush tonight. I walked in the door at 5 to 11. So, I'm all in a tizzy. Had a fun night home, though. I've been in Wetleg tonight, and that's always nothing less than a joy. And what else is always nothing less than a joy is being with you lovely, wonderful people. I adore each and every one of you, and quite frankly, I would like to tickle you until you wet yourselves a little bit. Right, okay, here we go. No messing about tonight after I waffled on for 50 minutes and sent poor Simon to sleep last night. We'll crack straight on with it today. I'll say hello to you, obviously. I'm not rude. Yeah, because it's Thursday tomorrow, and Thursday is mad night when anything goes and we just go off on a completely random one. So, tonight's features are, we've had a think, we've all cogitated. And we're going to give whatever advice we can to the lovely Simon for his channel, including a possible whether we think it would be wise to rebrand, and if so, some new brand name suggestions. I won't give my advice because I whittled on about it endlessly last night and had already done so privately, so he doesn't need to hear it a third time. But I'm sure that he would value input from you guys, the community, our friends, and in another way, you represent the viewers, the punters. So you can tell us when we're making a complete arse of it. God knows you tell me often enough. Mike certainly does. Excellent. What else have we got? Oh, yeah. Now, this was a topic suggested by... I've forgotten who it was. Ross, was it you? Oh, bugger, I can't remember. But, well, should we have a look? Let's be professional about this. Right, it was in the Facebook group, Boaty's World, on Facebook, if you're not already a member. And while you're on Facebook, search for Boaty's World, and you'll find the page. Please like and follow the page, if you'd be so kind, as well as joining the group. Now then, no, that's not my flying lessons. I have flown a 737 and I didn't crash it. It was Russ. Blah, 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 blah. My reason for being here was to ask Boaty to discuss on the live stream, has he done heel and toe? Very quick answer to that. Yeah, still do it. Is it a skill or just a fancy thing to gloat about? Like my mates who would do monos on their mongoose BMXs. Discuss. Okay, well, I'll quickly give you my opinion on that. Heel and toeing is a skill, in my opinion. Now, bear in mind that I come from a background of driving classic, vintage, veteran, sports, performance and supercars, and sometimes heel and toeing is an essential skill, as is double D clutching and similar things. For those of you who don't know, heel and toeing originated sort of pre-war in the vintage and veteran brigade, where the brake pedal used to be on the right hand side and the throttle would be in the middle. Might sound bizarre now, but I genuinely have lost count of the number of cars I've driven with that configuration. And common practice then was to brake with the heel of your right foot and use the toe of your right foot to throttle the accelerator. Now you might ask why you would want to do that. Now there's a couple of reasons. Okay, one is that you might be driving a non-synchro or what we call crash box, right? So if you haven't got a synchro mesh on your gearbox, then in order for the gears to engage, they need to be matching the same number of revs. Imagine two toothed sprockets, like you get on a bicycle. Now imagine trying to put those together when they're spinning at massively different speeds. They're just going to go and that's what happens with the gearbox when you haven't got synchro. So what you've got now, what synchro mesh does for you is it synchronizes, the clue was there, it synchronizes the speed of the, well, in my example, the two discs, but the clutch plate and the doings. Thank you, Pingu. So that they mesh together nice and easily. It does the job for you. If you haven't got synchro mesh, then you need to match those speeds manually. And that's where skills like heel and towing and double declutching comes in. Double declutching is your way of matching the speeds, blipping the throttle. You would heel and tow when you need to do that at the same time as braking. There is another reason. In a performance car, when you are driving quickly or attempting to drive quickly, then there's going to be a specific power band, unless you've got a Shison with a CVT gearbox. And you're not wanting, as you're coming in or out the corner or whatever, you don't want the revs to be out of that power band. So again, you would heel and tow. In other words, heel and tow basically means brake and accelerate at the same time. Now, that might seem counterintuitive, but bear in mind that you've got the clutch disengaged and you're blipping the throttle, you're raising the revs purely in order to either make that manual synchro mesh or to make sure that the revs are in the correct power band where you want them to be when you come off the clutch and drive is re-engaged. So if your power only comes above 3 grand, you're not going to want to be coming off the clutch at 1500 because you're going to bog down, you're going to have no power. So that's heel and towing for you. Yeah, basically in the modern configuration, you're braking with the toe of your right foot, you're pivoting your foot over, and you're operating the accelerator with the heel of your foot. So that's my answer. Yes, I've done it. Yeah, I still do. I also double declutch, even when it's not necessary, partly because it's habit, but also it is good practice because quite apart from the two things I've mentioned, it puts less strain on the components. So you're putting less strain on your synchro, less strain on your drivetrain. So it's not a bad thing to do by any means, in fact quite the opposite. But there you go, that's my 2 pence on it. Do please add your own. And we'll go back to YouTube. And the other features were, what did you have for dinner? And have you ever done a poo that was shaped like an item of food? Or items of food? And if so, which item / items? So there we go. That should see us through nicely until midnight, shouldn't it, my little lovelies? Oh, God, you're lovely. Hold on. And I shall now professionally and seamlessly dive back into the comments. after I've had a slurp of this wine. I'm sitting in a railway station. I've got a ticket for my destination. More on that later. I'm not really sitting in a railway station, my lovelies. I'm sitting here at my dining table talking to you. Those are just lyrics from the popular beat combo Simon Carbuncle. Now then, right, Joe's just popped in to say, oh, Steve Colg is here, that's nice. Joe popped in to say hi and wish us all a great live stream, which is lovely. He's got to be up at 5 a.m. for work, so he's pissing off. But he did let us know that he had Carolina ribs, chips, corn on the cob, and coleslaw from a local takeaway that he used to work at. And it was bloody gorgeous. Barry is here and says hi guys. Neil Gibbons is in our midst. Always a pleasure, Neil. And says evening all. Matt is here, _ Simon is here and says holy crap. Oh, and he's going to bless us with a Wednesday haiku. We sit like the gods. We shuffle our tired old limbs. We do not talk small. Cheeseburger is here and says, evening all, the night Joe. And if I wanted to, I could call him Mark, because that's his name. And I know that now. And he is, what Mark did he say? Oh, you were going to be Mark 5, weren't you? Because that was your favourite Cortina. Although everybody, and I said it was mine too. And everybody shouted us down and said the Mark 3 was the best. I do like the Mark 3, I must admit. You know, 2 litre GXL, vinyl roof, full Webasto. Yeah. Excuse me. How rude. God, son of Boaty's here again. Good evening, Daddy. Hello, son. How was your day at school? Neil says, I have to agree on the... What? I have to agree on the tired side. Replaced all my calipers and did my rear backing plates on my ZTT today. Backing plates had seen better days. No handbrake for 2 weeks. Matt says, I thought a haiku was when stoners refused to leave McDonald's. That's quite good by your standards, actually, Matt. Bad Books is here and says, good evening all. And Bad Books is Books, Bookmark. Yes, he's another Mark. I get him mixed up with skid marks. Oh, that's good, Neil. Oh, God. Barry says, have you cogitated a new car and has Fanny been sold? No new car. There is a new car coming, but it hasn't come yet. So no new car at the moment. And Fanny hasn't as yet been sold. We had 2 people interested already, and bizarrely, I may have sold it to a customer tonight who wanted to buy Wetleg. And I said they couldn't, but they could buy Fanny. So he's going to be checking over all the videos tonight and giving me a ring tomorrow. So, you know, there's always possibilities. We're in no rush, darlings. It's more important that she and any other car goes to the right home. And we're prepared to wait for that right home to appear. You're not central. You know I like you to be central, darlings. I don't know why you have to be difficult about this. There. I think we'd all agree that that is much, much better. Until I put myself back in the picture, and then it all goes downhill. Oh, Matt has got a suggestion for a new channel name for Simon. The Wonderful World of Simon, or Simon Does Because Simon Does Do Stuff. Right, okay. If you can't sell Fanny, says Matt, can you sell anything? Fair point. Right. Oh, Neil's telling us all about his brakes. Having a chat with Simon there. Rebrand the channel, says Bad Books. Behind the beard. That's not bad, actually. Behind the beard. I quite like that. What do you reckon, Simon? I know you've already got a short list, or a long list, or a long short list, or quite possibly a short long list, for all I know. You know, I'm not privy to Simon's lists, nor should I be. Lists are a very private thing. Doesn't it annoy you when somebody leaves their shopping list in the trolley and puts the trolley away? And when they do that, you can't help but have a look at it, can you? And critique their choices. And, you know, you can tell a lot about a person from their shopping list, can't you? Now, I was in the supermarket the other day, and I was checking my stuff through. And I can't remember what I had there, but, you know, it was probably stuff that made it obvious that I was cooking for one or whatever. And there was quite a nice lady in the queue behind me, and she was looking at my stuff, and she saw me looking at her, and she sort of smiled, and she said, I bet you're single. And I said, oh, right, you've been looking at my shopping. And she said, no, it's just that you're quite fat, you're really ugly, and you smell a bit, which I thought was a bit rude. And I had a similar thing like that the other day. When was it? Saturday. It was Saturday. I was in the post office, darlings, sending off some of my shoddy gloves, that cycling mitts that I had sold on the Bay of E. And I had the misfortune, whilst waiting in the queue, to break wind, and it was kind of silent but deadly, you know, one of those, and the odour just emanated around me. And this old guy, and I know I shouldn't say that because I'm an old guy, but this was an old guy, right? He looked at me with this scandalised expression, and he was quite posh as well. So his choice of words surprised me. And he said, oh dear, have you farted? And I thought, you cheeky bastard. I said, of course I bloody farted. Do you think I always smell like this? Cheeky fucker. Oh dear. People, eh? What are they like? Oh, it's a bloody outrage. Now then, where did we get to? Oh yeah, that's right. Bad Books was talking about rebranding the channel and suggesting Behind the Beard, which I do quite like. And he's never done heel and towing. And he had lamb steaks and salad for tea. And in terms of poos shaped like food, he just says, what the fuck? Neil says left foot braking. Mastered that in a 1.1 8-valve Saxo around B roads. Fucking hell, Sterling Moss, says son of Boaty. Yeah, left foot braking, not unknown. I occasionally do it in Wetleg. Normally, I left foot brake in an auto, but I do occasionally left foot brake in Wetleg. Cheeseburger says, with synchro on modern boxes, the use of double D clutching and heel and toe are limited. I've been driving autos for 15 years now, so I've long since given it up. Boy racer's trick, save it for the racetrack. Well, you've kind of got a point there, Cheeseburger, but I would say that you kind of haven't as well. If all that you drive is everyday modern cars, then yeah, save it for the racetrack, forget about it, no need. But if there's a chance that you're going to be driving other vehicles, then I would suggest that it's a skill that you need to keep up. Because if you just forget how to drive a less modern car sympathetically, then when you jump into one, you're going to make a right arse of it because you'll have forgotten all of your little techniques. So I keep them up. And sometimes I do completely unnecessary things just for shits and giggles. So sometimes when I'm pressing on a bit, I will do a racing change. Even though I know that it's completely unnecessary and a bit silly, but I just enjoy it. And I like keeping my skills up. And as I say, double declutching and heel and towing, then yeah, they do lessen the strain on the drivetrain. So, all right, you know, in your 2-year-old whatever, that doesn't matter. But even if you're driving like a 15-year-old car, it might make a difference. So it doesn't do any harm. So I don't think it's a gimmick. I don't think it's a show off. There you are. That's what I think. Jolly Juju is here and says, crumpet on wheels. Simon says, I heel and tow in Margaret to rev match on downshifts. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Now, the thing with rev matching on downshifts, of course, and again, this is a double thing. If you rev match on a downshift, then you're going to exacerbate the effect of the engine braking, right? Now, if you're pressing on, then this is going to sound weird, but it will accelerate your braking process, weird as that sounds, or make the braking more effective, shall we say. Or if you're not pressing on, then by doing that, you're going to lessen the need for the actual braking. The more engine braking you do, the less brake braking you do. And that means that your brake pads are going to last longer, it's going to be less wear on your braking system generally. So again, it's a worthwhile skill to have, and it is good practice. So good on you, Simon. Now this is interesting. Now the pedals on an MGF and an MGTF are very well placed for heel and towing, right? But, and this took me by surprise, bear with. Oh, no, it's not this, is it? I was going to show you this, but this is the owner's manual. Right, if you have a brochure for an MGF or an MGTF, an original brochure, they actually made a feature of that. It says in the brochure that the pedals and the pedal positions are specifically designed for heel and towing. So there you go. There you go. Even in a late 90s, early 2000s car, they're telling you that we've designed this car for you to heel and tow in. We think you should do it. So there you go. And jolly well done to Simon for doing it in Margaret, if that's not a rude thing to say. Pingu Concord is here and says, good evening, Camp Boaty. How are you diddling tonight? I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Things are good at the moment. Thank you for asking. Hope they are with you as well. I'm tired all the time, and it was a bit touch and go tonight as to whether I was going to go, but it's been an okay day. Nothing. It's been quite a good day actually. I've been out for a raz in the F and the TF. I've been to the post office again. I didn't break wind. I had lunch. Did I have a nice lunch? What did I have for lunch? Christ, I can't remember. Let's look for clues. I did have a nice lunch, didn't I? Yeah. I did. I had a lovely pie with new potatoes with butter, mint and parsley. and steamed runner beans tossed in butter and black pepper with a nice beef stock gravy. It was lovely. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, not a bad day at all. Restaurant tonight, for some unknown reason, heaving, packed. Matt says double declutching and heel and toe antics equal bumps into curbs and old ladies' cars. Sorry, I'm only teasing. Barry had raw vegetables and mashed potato for lunch. Jesus Christ. Are you in prison? I'll try and screenshot these suggestions, says Simon. Feel free to ping the page with them also. Oh, and Cheeseburger says Homeward Bound. Now, is that is that a suggestion for the channel name? And is that what Jolly Juju's was? That I thought was a non sequitur. What was it? I've lost it now. Oh, I can't find it. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Oh, Crumpet on Wheels. Was that a channel? Was that a channel name suggestion? Crumpet on Wheels. My favourite, I don't know any of that Simon's come up with, but my favourite so far is Behind the Beard. I like that. Excuse me. Now let's get back to where we were. Right, outrageous. Ross is here, Dinosaur Dad, and says buttocks to all, and I second that. I always aim to disappoint, says Matt, but occasionally I'm accidentally witty. Yeah, well, throw enough shit at the wall and some will stick, won't it, Matt, eh? Hello, Boaty and friends. It's Ali Mac Mechanical. Oh, what a treat to get a visit from Ali Mac. Hello, mate. How you doing? Hope you're well. How about Simon Says Barry? And my initial reaction was, huh. And then, quick second thought, that is genius. That is genius. My initial reaction was, oh God, really? Cliche, boring, rubbish. And then you just think about it, what a brilliant name for a channel. Simon Says. I really like that. It's alliterative, double S. It suggests not much. It suggests that there's somebody called Simon, and that's never a bad thing, I think, to get your... I think getting your own name or nickname into your channel name is a really, really good idea, I think. Because otherwise, right, we all know Captain Mustard. We might know him as Captain Mustard, we might know him as Paul Roverman, or we might know him as Hairy Paddington, but the vast majority of his subscribers who don't know him personally, they all call him Nigel. They all call him Nigel. And if I was him, that would annoy me, because Nigel is the car. And he is whoever he is. Paul, Mustard, Hairy Paddington. But they all call him Nigel. And even the people who know him personally, and we had this on Monday with somebody or other, they all call him Nigel. And that would really pee me off. So I think getting your act... So if you put... And there you go. That's what you get from making the channel name something else, when the channel is you. You might be doing something constantly with your Project NGTF or whatever it is that you're constantly doing things with, but ultimately the channel is you and you are the channel. So I think it's a great idea to get your name in there so that you are automatically identified with the channel. which Mustard doesn't get with Project Nigel. And you know, again, Paul gets away with everything. Paul does everything wrong, or he did. He doesn't now, but he certainly did. Took me 6 months of nagging to get to sort his stuff out. And I've told you this before. I said that I was going to do it all myself, and he finally got his finger out, got a laptop off a mate, and did everything that he needed to do. But took 6 months of effort to get him to do it, and he's now reaping the benefits from it. So you know, that's why I never feel guilty when I make him pay for lunch. But we're going off topic there. Well, we're not, but we're riffing a bit. So I actually like Simon Says. Okay, it's lacking a car thing, and you know, the Simon's channel is going to be car and bike based to quite a degree, but he does do other stuff as well, and he does other stuff very well. I think I'm right in saying that his most successful long-form video involves him sitting in a chair and reading from or talking about a book. And who knows, he might do more than that. But Simon Says is sufficiently generic and sufficiently catchy and relates to him and in a way to what he does that I really like that. Do I prefer that to Behind the Beard, which is also alliterative, but I don't know. Behind the Beard, would that suggest that the channel is going to be about personal insights? So, you know, you see the persona, and then the channel is going to be about personal insights of what's behind that beard or persona. Maybe it would, and you know, that's not entirely a bad thing, but maybe it's not really I prefer Simon Says, I think, but I'm sure Simon's got loads of better ideas. Simon's Technicolor beard, says Cheeseburger. Wouldn't be up there on my list, to be honest. What? What's that in relation to, Cheeseburger? This can't be true, Ross. Got a trolley for the hardware store. The list left in it was rope, gaffer tape, cloths, chloroform. I think that's a joke. Only because, you know, B&Q, or the Australian equivalent, I presume, don't sell chloroform. A hidden message from Matt. Someone asked me if I'd farted the other day. I told them if they hung around 5 more minutes, they'd realise I'd shit myself. And Matt goes on to say, my legs are always too lanky for heel and towing. Plus my right hip moves around in the socket, so it's an uncomfortable technique to use. Well, on a serious note, Matt, okay, it's your right hip. But, okay, right hip. I was going to say, should you not be driving an automatic? But if it's your right hip, then I suppose that wouldn't make any difference, would it? Because your right leg would still be doing the same work as it would be doing in a manual. Yeah. Engine braking, says Cheeseburger, I firmly believe in. They don't teach it to kids these days, and they wonder why they slide into the back of cars in snow and ice. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? You know, I'm not up with what they teach the youth these days, but going back to when I was married, then both the tall one and the firstborn had driving lessons and passed their test. And yeah, I was surprised at some of the practices that that they were taught. Yeah. Now, a shout out to some of the modern automatics, because of course engine braking for many years wasn't a thing in automatics, but I do know that a lot of modern automatics will engine brake automatically, you know, rather than you having to do it manually by knocking off the overdrive or knocking it down a cog or two on the box. But yeah, engine braking is important because you've spent money effectively creating that. Well, you've created kinetic energy, but you've also created potential energy, haven't you? He said, trying to remember his O-level physics. That's right, isn't it? Kinetic and potential. And obviously in the modern hybrids, then, or even full electric, I don't know. I've never driven one apart from a milk float or a Sinclair C5. Or even with the Formula One cars now, they harness that potential energy, don't they, by converting it into electricity for the electric power. But if you haven't got one of those, then the only thing you can do with that energy that you've spent, that potential energy that you've spent money in producing, is to use it for engine braking, and thus reduce the wear on your brake pads and so on, and extend their life and the life of the braking system in general. And I say general because on the way home tonight I was listening to Nina's 99 Luftballon, where of course there is a lyric, Rumschichter ein General. So there you are. You might not be interested in that, and I don't care. Ali Mac says, cheeseburger. When I learned to drive, that's what I was taught. Also, I've driven a few trucks, and engine braking kept the brakes from overheating. Yeah, absolutely. On a long descent, sure. Cheeseburger says, the MGF brochure says the pedal box from a marina works for heel and toe, and we've cannibalized it into the MG. Yeah, it so doesn't. Unexpectedly busy again, says Pingu, taking the piss. Yeah, unexpectedly busy. Unexpectedly busy. I only eat vegetables raw, says Barry. Right, okay, nice. I mean, I eat some vegetables raw. I love raw cabbage, raw onion, raw carrot. But, you know, proper vegetables, not like salad vegetables, proper vegetables, I like them to be perfectly al fresco. Or, and this is controversial because I'm a foodie, I won't complain if my veg is a little bit over al dente. Not mushy, not soggy, not overcooked, but a little bit over al dente is fine with me when it comes to vegetables. Overcook my beef and I will possibly kill you, at the very least sit on your head. But vegetables, yeah, I get the al fresco thing, but you know, a little bit over with, and I'm talking about the veg that you have with your Sunday dinner. Now, if I'm eating a stir fry or chow mein or whatever, I want my bean sprouts al dente. Of course I do. Why would I not? When I make my Chinese curry, my onion is al fresco. But when it comes to your Sunday dinner, I can live without crunchy vegetables, to be completely honest. And I don't lie to you. I'm honest with you. I'm going to be honest now. I cooked runner beans today, as I've already told you. You know, I have disclosed that. And I say runner beans, they were stringless beans, because I have got to the stage in life where life is too short to string beans. So I buy the stringless ones. I do. Now, I steam them. and I went by look, I went by touch, I went by colour, and then when I thought they were perfectly al fresco, I went by taste. I fished one out, I bit into it, and I thought that is perfectly cooked, I'll give it another minute. Because, you know, steamed stroke boiled veg, I like it a little bit over. I don't want crunchy vegetables with my roast or similar type thing. Feature 27. When is it appropriate to eat your food al fresco? Oh, that's nice. Ali says cheeseburger. I agree. Engine braking and rev matching on the downshift is a legitimate use of it. Oh well. Thank you for your approval, cheeseburger. We wouldn't have slept if we thought you were looking down on us, double declutchers and heels and towers, with your 15 years in posh automatics. There you go, darlings. You can sleep easy. We are legitimate. Crumpets on jam, says Matt. I think that's a channel suggestion. Homeward bound, says Cheeseburger. Wasn't that your sitting in a railway station bit? Yes, that's why I thought of it. Ah, yeah, well spotted. Bearded Dream Boy, suggests Pingu. And Cheeseburger weighs in with Beard Helium Rhapsody. Christ. Ali Mac says, I'm well, Boaty. I'm always busy, that's the problem. I do try. Same here, mate. I know how it is. Wizard wheels for Simon, says Ross. Pingu says, Saucy Simon says sausage news. And that may or may not be a deliberate misspelling of saucy. Bad Book says, Cheeseburger. I was taught to change down, late 80s. Had driving course for work, insurance. And my trainer tried to teach me the new way till I negotiated a roundabout at 40 miles an hour and he got really arsey. My name is Ali, says Ali. Mac is my surname, so hence Ali Mac Mechanical. Makes total sense. And Cheeseburger says, Bad Books, and you wouldn't have been in the right gear to exit the island either. No, absolutely. Oh, Matt says, that's why I went for Simon Does. Oh, I didn't know you had. I must have missed that. Because he's doing things, not saying things. Also, I imagine that growing up, Simon was probably quite a little shit. Also, I imagine growing up, Simon Says was probably quite a common comment for Simon to hear. Yeah, that's why my initial thought was, oh, Simon Does. That might be quite clever. Simon Does. It's short, it's pithy, it kind of means something and kind of doesn't. Yeah, it's better than Project MGTF, I think. Good evening, your flatulence, says Stephen S. Paul. Good evening to you. Cheeseburger says there must be loads of Simon Says channels on YouTube, though. Yeah, there quite possibly is, Cheeseburger, and that's a good point. Obviously, before you made your selection, you would do your due diligence and you would do a search of YouTube. And guess what? When I did that, there wasn't another Boaty's World. And all of the Boaty's World domains were available nice and cheaply. So, you know, that's all something that you need to think about. You know, don't call your channel Tesco because your domain will cost you about 7 million quid. Because somebody like me, when the domains were very first released, would have been really clever and bought tesco.co.uk and bnq.co.uk and then tried to flog those domains to them for an absolute fortune. Which, if you ever wondered, is why B&Q is called DIY.com, because they wouldn't pay what I wanted. Oh, I did the lot. I did the bloody lot. It was such a no-brainer. I was in very early with the internet, darlings. Very early indeed. And I tried not to miss a trick. Oh dear. Or Planet's Eye, says Ross. Gosh, that's Planet's Eye. That's an intriguing channel name, but I think that might be a little bit too left field and out there. Oh, and Simon weighs in. Simon says, just reminds me of having the piss ripped out of me as a kid. Yeah, Matt alluded to that. And behind the beard, he's already taken. All right, scrub them then. Simon drives and stuff, says Ali Mac. Oh, yeah, don't forget, title for live, says Cheeseburger. Simon says, don't freeze your wine. Yeah, don't forget, darlings, it's your job, and you have got 13 minutes to come up with a title for tonight's live stream. Last night's, well, okay, it's getting there, it's not quite, got a bit of ice in it. Last night's I loved, I thought it was brilliant. I combined two suggestions to come up with hoof-hearted, ? A horse named Sue, ! So do put your thinking caps on for tonight's title, my lovelies. Be inventive, be weird, be funny. And we'll pick the best one before we bugger off. And it is going to be an on-time bugger off tonight. You'll be relieved to hear, because I'm knackered. And I have got some bits to do, and I've got to cook and make supper and all of that sort of thing. Simon in the place, yo. And that's from Jolly Juju. Simon in the place, yo. Well, that would be an idiotic bloody title for any channel, apart from Simon's. Simon's probably the one person I know who could make that channel name work. I'm not sure how serious you're being, but, and yeah, he could probably actually make that work. Bless him. I love some of his weird stuff I really like. Cheeseburger, yes, says Bad Books. Instructor said changing down brakes, gearboxes and clutches, and brakes are cheaper. Bollocks. I told him I've never had a broken clutch or gearbox in 30 odd years of driving. Tosser. Well, it depends how you change down, doesn't it? You know. Okay, changing down to use the engine braking, but then it becomes an argument for double declutching, heel and towing, and changing down in a way that is as sympathetic as possible to the gearbox and the clutch. Evening, Boaty, says Jaden. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining. I should drive autos, says Matt, but I prefer having gears. You still have gears in an automatic gearbox. That's how they work. They just change automatically. But in every gearbox that I've ever known, you have a manual overrides. You can still use them as a manual. You just don't have to poke at the clutch. Plus, used autos are a very risky purchase. I know all used cars are, but I'm sure everyone gets what I mean. Yeah, I think we do. Fair comment. Engine braking is very important, says Stephen S. Paul, especially when the engine actually brakes. And that works better when you say it than when you type it. Modern autos do come down the box when you brake, says Cheeseburger. That way they pick up very quickly when you accelerate again. Yeah, I used to drive Mercedes trucks for work, and they were auto. they had a 7-speed gearbox and they engine braked, which is the first time I realised that modern gearboxes, auto gearboxes, do such a thing, and I was quite impressed. I would have loved to have had a mate called Simon at school, says Matt. Every time someone tried to take the piss, he'd have said, Simon says duck, and I'd have slapped them across the back of the head if they didn't. I love that. Pingu says, I've recently taught my son to drive and pass his test. Only 2 easy manoeuvres and no emergency stop, which I think should be mandatory in every test. I agree. I didn't realise that it wasn't. Cheeseburger says, Matt, I wouldn't drive a modern car that is out of warranty. Repair costs are hideous. Cheeseburger, you would if you were poor, mate. You know, that choice that you make is the privilege of a comfortably well-off person. Many of us, Matt included, myself included, don't have such a privilege. Cheeseburger says the only raw veg I have is on a kebab. Not entirely true. I have it in salads, and I try and eat a lot of salad. But yeah, take your point. John Maruzzi says, I agree completely about crunchy, undercooked vegetables. Yeah, great in salads and on kebabs and stuff like that, but not with your roast. Cheeseburger says, Matt, real problem for me. Mine is 18 months old, and I'd be looking to change after 24 months. I can offset against tax. But with interest rates so high, it's a dilemma. Do I keep the car over 36 months? Blimey, first world problem. Simon does is already taken, says Simon. Plus you can add out to it and make it sound stupid, right? And Cheeseburger immediately suggested Simon does Dallas. Mike, in his kind and sympathetic way, chimes in and says Simon gives up. Oh dear. And Bad Book says, Simon does Dallas and use Boaty's music. Sorted. I'll give you a copyright strike. Even though, obviously, I don't have the copyright. Oh, talking about copyright strike, I've had another one. And I am fighting it. And so far, as you may or may not recall, I've got a 100% win record when it comes to copyright battles on YouTube. This latest one, and I've beaten the BBC. If you remember, I beat the BBC. And I beat that Scottish band, whatever they were called, Counting Buzzards. Something, I can't remember. This latest copyright is for... I'm so sorry. It's for this week's Mustard and Boaty and Liz Do Monday, where I used Frankie Howard and June Whitfield's version of Je t'aime, moi non plus. The original, of course, was Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. Now, I would have used the original, but that is copyrighted. But I found out that the Frankie Howard version, which is funnier, obviously, that is not copyrighted. That is public domain. So I used that, not expecting any issues at all. And boom, I got hit with a copyright strike. Now, obviously, you get that before the video goes live. I decided to go live with the video anyway, because the copyright strike, and this has happened before, is coming from somebody who did their own cover version, sampling the original, to which they don't have copyright. And they're trying to hit me with a copyright strike for their non-original thing that they don't even hold the fucking copyright to. So I thought, bollocks. So I've set the video to live. I've opened up a full legal dispute over it. The video is monetized and the money is being held in escrow by YouTube, which is what happens, pending the outcome of the dispute. Cheeky fuckers. There's a lot of people doing this now. There's a lot of people on YouTube who don't actually hold the copyright, laying down ownership so that YouTube will automatically pick up when anybody uses what they say is theirs or uses something similar. Now, here's how it works. If you use somebody else's music and they hold the copyright and you use that exact music, then they've got two options. They can make you remove the content, or they can allow you to keep your content, but they get all of the money for it, right? And that's their option. They can choose either of those two. And you, the person who has used it, may get a copyright strike against you, get enough of those, and you are thrown off YouTube. If you use something similar that is demonstrably similar, like a cover version, so if I used me singing a cover version of any copyrighted material, then YouTube would still pick that up, but they would identify it as not being identical, but as a cover version. And in those situations, you do a revenue share. So you and the copyright owner would share the revenue from that content where you're doing a cover version of somebody else's copyright material. But, and that's what this person has done. So my Frankie Howard and June Whitfield Je T'aime has been picked up as being a cover version of this guy's cover version, if that makes sense, right? He's not entitled to that. He's not entitled to that copyright. It's a 1998 cover version, and he's trying to claim that I'm breaching his copyright with material that was recorded 20 years before. You know, it's bollocks. Now, because it was picked up as a cover version, I could have just left it as revenue share. And let's be honest, right? That video, it's not going to get hardly any views at all. It'll probably get a few hundred views, 200 or 300 in time, right? And that's probably all. And that means that it would probably have earned about, what, 25, 30p in ad revenue, if that. And so if I shared that, that would mean I was giving away like 10 or 15p, something like that. In other words, not worth arsing about over. Just click the button, revenue share, accept the copyright claim, because what difference does 15p make? Principle. Because, and I've had this with other videos that I've done, if he's doing that with thousands or tens of thousands of other videos and picking up money from all of them, that's all going to add up. And he's not entitled to it. He's operating fraudulently. So fuck it. I've disputed it. Fully legally. The whole kit and caboodle. So there we are. Where did I get to? Or it could be called Simon Is. Then the video titles could say what Simon is doing. That's not bad. Ah, Planet Psi. Planet Psi. Clever. I didn't get that, and it is. Planet Psi. Planet Psi. Ah. It's even a little bit Boaty's World, isn't it? Boaty's World, Planet Psi. Yeah. But you wouldn't necessarily pick that up from the... Oh, that's rather clever. That is rather clever. I like that. Mike says, I'm not joking, mate. Ditch the name and give up. No, he didn't. No, he didn't at all. Mike said, I'm only joking, mate. Just think about what you want to do and then mainly ditch the name, then crack on. I caught up with what you were all going on about last night. I watched half of James's video on that Ital of Mike's, and I shall keep up with that one. That'll be a nice project. I've actually got a soft spot for the Ital. I can't deny it. I have. Boaty the Frostman. We're not thinking of channel titles for me. Boaty shits food shapes. That would be a great channel title. Oh, Simon in Demand, says Mike. Or what about tweaking that to Simon on Demand? I like that. Simon on Demand. SOD. S-O-D. Simon on Demand. Simon in Demand, right? That sounds a little bit too arrogant, I think. That makes it sound as if it obviously makes it sound as if he's in demand. And if you're watching a video with that from that channel and that video hasn't got great views, you're going to think, well, fucking no, he's not. No, he's not. He's only had 38 views on this video. But if you change that to Simon on Demand, then that would be kind of perfect, because that's what YouTube videos are. They are there on demand, any hour of the day or week. Even if it's a live stream, you can watch it at any time to suit you. It's on demand TV or content, isn't it? And Simon on Demand would work really well. I mean, SOD, I know it's maybe not the most pleasant word in certain connotations, but it's a known word, isn't it? So SOD would work really well as an acronym. It would be memorable. That is my new favourite, officially, Simon on Demand. I like that. I like that very much. And if you go for that, Simon, then you have to pay me and Mike royalties for the rest of your life. What do you think of that? Simon on Demand. I quite like that. Or should it just be a little, is that too out there? Should it have a car or motorbike or both reference in there? I don't know. I quite like Simon on Demand. You would need to have the right description and so on, and then you'd need the right video descriptions. But as a channel name, I quite like Simon on Demand, and it would make a great domain name for your actual website and for your website pointer, because you could have just www.sod.uk or .youtube or whatever you wanted, and that would be really short and pithy and memorable. Oh, I apologise, Mike. Right. I didn't read on to the next comments. Right, Mike, actually, it was a spelling mistake. It was a typo, and Mike corrected himself to on demand rather than in demand. So that's not my idea. It's Mike's idea. He had it first. He typed it down and everything, so you don't have to pay me royalties. But I think that's brilliant, Mike. to be honest with you. I think that's absolutely great, Boaty. Heel and toe should be the characters that Boaty and Mustard do. I like that. I like that. We could do a pair of characters, heel and toe. I'll remember that. I'll take a screenshot. Oh, and what do we all think about Threads? This new app that has been or is going to be launched by Facebook as a direct competitor to Twitter. Oh, mind you, we're past finishing time, so maybe we should do that one tomorrow. Jolly Juju says, Boaty, dear boy, my suggestions are definitely not serious. I told Simon my ideas already. Well, you know, you live together, you share intimacy. I'm sure you have told him in a much more private forum than a YouTube live stream. Heel and toe for the name of the stream. Highland toe. Oh, that's quite good. Screenshot that. Matt says, yeah, the Skoda Superb I had was a DSG. Good fun, but not as connected to the car as when I'm in a manual, plus 2,600 quid to repair. How fucking behind is Mr. Boaty, for fuck's sake? Am I way behind? Oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. Simon's bonnet, says Jolly Juju. Don't use your name for a start, says Mike. Oh, Ben's here. Ben. See? Ben. Salutations, fellow boaters. Cheeseburger says, if I couldn't afford the car I drive, I would buy one that I could repair. A 10-year-old car for 2,000 quid that is modern wouldn't be on my radar. Fair enough. Whiskers and wheels with Simon. Oh, is that a bit too close to beards and bangers? Maybe. Re-copyright hits, not worth the risk. Just use my songs, I'll not pursue any rights. I have used your song, Simon, and I would love to again. They're not strikes, Boaty, they're just claims, says Ali Mac. I know. I was just, you know, for the sake of this, I was just using that word. I get them all the time. I've contested a few of them over the years that I've been on YouTube. Yeah, they do tell you in fairness, this is not a strike, this is a claim, but I didn't want to confuse the people who don't have channels and don't know. And of course, that's why you can contest them, because they're claims. It's all bots that scan for copyright, says Simon. Yes, it is. No one will ever actually listen to it unless it is disputed, and maybe not even then. I wouldn't have thought it would be listened to initially. As I understand the process, what happens initially is your argument is shown to the copyright claimant, and they then react to that. And everyone that I've had so far, apart from one, once they've seen my argument, they have dropped their claim. One of them didn't, and that was the one with the Scottish band, whatever they were called, Counting Ravens, or whatever it was. Or was that the name of their song? I can't remember. They didn't drop their claim, and it did go to human review, and I did win. So, serve them right. Ben says, suggestions re Simon de Bureau the name change. The Eclectic Maverick, or Reassuringly Eclectic. Interesting. Ross says, the Jam Factory. Pingu says, just jamming, with no G. Cheeseburger says, Boaty singing Je t'aime, or however you spell it. You missed an E. Crikey. Right, I'm going to head off to my bed, says Ali Maxwell. Bid you all a good night. Sleep well. Thank you for the laugh. You're very welcome. Professor Wrench, says Jolly Juju. I know that's a joke, but I love that. I love that. Mind you, if you were going to go down Professor Wrench, would you not just call it Norman Butler? Ben says, personally I favour Generation Jammy Troll Whistle. Oh, Mike, bless you. Mike sent a super chat. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciated. Especially at the moment, as usual, I bloody need it. What time are we on? Oh, God, I'm late. Sorry for keeping you up, darlings. We're all saying good night to Ellie Mac. Mike says good night also. Mike's off as well. Video title says Cheeseburger. Boaty shape shitters. I like that. Screenshot. Who gives an SOD? Or SOD? Asks Ben. We all do. I like that. Good night, you two, says Stephen S. Paul. SOD. It's a no from me, says Simon. Okay, that's that. Pingu says, how about HubNut's fun and entertaining cousin? I'm screenshotting that because if Simon doesn't use that, I'm going to. I'll start a new channel just so I can use that name. Simon Sighting and Saying, says Liz. Hello, Liz. How are you, love? Oh, I need to get you those VIN numbers. Thank you so much, Liz, for Fanny's. I did the sales video tonight, which isn't a new video. It's just edited compilation of previous stuff. I just wanted it all together in one video with an actual title that says For Sale MGF and with a proper description of the car in the description, in the video description, and nothing else. And I included that, so thank you very much. And I can't wait to get the others. I just need to get you those VIN numbers. Simon on remand, says Bad Books. It's a no from me too, says Ross, and no Simon in the name, I would say. Oh, okay. Simone came amongst us and says, Boaty needs a haircut. I probably do. Stephen S. Paul says, Simon shit bombs and stuff. And then he had sark, meaning that he's probably being sarcastic. Nut butter in homage to Norman Butler. And Cheeseburger quite rightly says, Simone, it's not January yet, because Cheeseburger knows that for the past 8 years, I haven't had a haircut since I was about 14. I just shave my head periodically or clip my head. But Cheeseburger knows quite rightly for the last 8 years, I've done it once a year on Bernard's birthday in January. Although, now I'm doing all of this YouTube shit, there is a chance that I may go to twice a year and sod the expense. And I might actually go like I did this year for the first time. Instead of doing it myself, I might actually go and get the barber to do it. I did that this January and it was a lot less hassle than trying to do it myself, especially when I haven't got a doings. I haven't had a doings for about 3 years. And I've ended up doing cut, or using the beard trimmer on my electric razor and then literally wet shaving my head. And I don't like being completely kojacked. I like being clipped down to very, very, very short. But yeah, it is getting to that sort of stage, Simone, I agree. Whether I can be asked or whether I just let it go until January, I don't know. But to be honest, it's getting to the stage where it's starting to piss me off. And yeah, because I do videos, yeah, maybe I'm due, maybe go to twice a year. Or what about going mad and actually getting it cut rather than having it clipped? What about actually having a haircut for the first time for 38 years? Yeah, there's a feature. Simon's life on wheels, says Liz. Oh, and Simon says, oh, that might have legs. Simon's life on wheels. Yeah. Tick some boxes. And Son of Boaty says he's always behind the twat. Pingu then comes up with Subnut. Subnut. And Liz says whiskers equals cats. Am I way behind, says Ben, unheard of, surely. Referring to me, of course. And then Simone says, hi all. Daddy drinks too much. God. Mr. Jeffrey's corner of Tinterweb. I really like that. I really like that. When I had my promotions company, and it became obvious that we needed to set up, when we started doing the big corporate stuff, and rather than farming the disco out to a relatively unknown quantity, it became clear that we needed an in-house disco so that we could entirely control quality, presentation, blah, blah, blah. And when it came to naming it, of course, it had to be named independently of Grand Central, which was the name of my promotions company. And my idea was Mr. Rocker's Quality Discotheque. And that just made me think of that. Now, Mr. Rocker was spelled R-O-C-C-A, and he was this amazing customer I had at the car dealerships, Greek or something, I don't know what. And I don't know what he did for a living, and I never asked. But he and his brother used to turn up every couple of months with literally a Tesco bag, a Tesco carrier bag, with about 50 grand in cash in it, and he would buy a car, and a classic car as well. I'm trying to remember, he liked Jaguars. He bought a Mark II 3.8 overdrive with wire wheels. He bought a couple of E-types. I can't remember what else he bought. And he just tickled me. It was the dynamic between him and his brother. Mr. Rocker was clearly the alpha. And he had this foreign name, but he was northern. He was really northern, and it was just him and his brother, and I couldn't take them seriously at first. I remember the first time I saw, and they bought this. I think it was an E-Type, was the first car they bought off me, and I didn't think that they were serious. I showed them the car. I showed them courtesy. I was professional, and he said, we'll buy this. And I said, oh, right, yeah, jolly good. He said, I didn't think they were serious for the moment. I said, when would you like to discuss, placing a deposit or something? He said, oh, no. We'll buy a car, we'll take it with us. I said, oh, right. He said, that's why I brought my brother. We can drive 2 cars back. I said, right, okay, well, come into the office. And so we went into the office, and I could, oh God, all I could remember really about it is that at one point he said to his brother, and I can't remember the brother's name, go and get bag. He was always quite abrupt with his brother, as if he was a naughty young brother. Go and get bag. Go and get bag. Go and get bag for Jason. And so the brother toddled off, went into their car, which wasn't locked, and brought back this bag stuffed with cash. And Mr. Rocker counted out, I can't remember exactly what it was. From memory, I think it was 28,500, something like that. And he just counted out £28,500, shoved the rest of it back in the bag, put that in car, put it in E-Type. And they went off, And they went off in the car that they came in, and this E-Type, with their bag of cash. And I just put it down as one of those things, and you'll never see them again. But they obviously liked me and trusted me, and I'd obviously sold them a good car, because they kept coming back and buying them. And it was always the same thing, except I knew what was going to happen. Yeah, we'll have this one, Jess. Lovely, thank you. Coming to the office. Would you like a coffee? And then at some point it would be, go and get bag. And the brother would have to toddle off, and the bag would come back, and the cash would be heaped on there. Oh God. So yeah, so I wanted to name the disco Mr. Rocker's Quality Discotheque. And Mel, my business partner, said over my dead fucking body. And we ended up calling it Uppercuts. Oh God. Happy memories. Northern Nut, Simon's Wheelie Great Show. Oh, sorry, Wheelie Great Show. In the shed with Simon. Shed wrench. God, I love you, Pingu. Simon Lloyd Driving Consultancy and HubNut's. Oh, God. Norman Butler does cars. Good night, Jason. Good night, humans. Be nice. Good night, Mike. You take great care of yourself, mate. Cut your hair, Daddy. Oh, this is very kind, Ben. I thought Fanny's sale video was tremendous. A brilliant combo of car review, no-nonsense Paddington and comedic honesty. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. I was hoping it went together okay. And if it did go together okay, I was going to use that as a format for all of them to come. So thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. Get Barbara to do the back crack and sack as well, says Cheeseburger. Sod that. Simon says, Boaty should grow a mullet. I would if I could be bothered. Random one, says Matt. If anyone hears of a 2.5 V6 block going very cheaply or hopefully free, please let me know. Adam has plans and an engine block would help him out. Intriguing. And then we're saying some good nights. Oh God, Cheeseburger, you're worth your weight in gold. I'm never going to read this out. How about, says Cheeseburger, keep it together, hub cunt. Oh, God. Hub cunt. Oh, God above. I want to call this video that, and I daren't, I'll get thrown off. I wonder if you could get away with it if you did hub C-nut, you know, misspelt cunt, the way that people do. Hub cunt. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ, hub cunt. Oh, I love that. Oh, that is my favourite thing tonight. Cash in a bag equals red flag, say Simon. Hope you did your due diligence. Well, depends what you mean by due diligence, Simon. Did I check to the best of my ability that the cash wasn't forged? Yes, of course I did. Did I, to the best of my ability, try to find out that the cash was legitimate? Did I fuck? I just took it. Too right I did. Minimum of 50% of the people that I dealt with were crooks, in all honesty. Who do you think can afford those sort of cars, right? Now, I dealt with very, very famous rock stars. I dealt with film stars. I dealt with pop stars. Who did I sell cars to? Right, I sold cars to what they called Black Sabbath, ELO, Ocean Colour Scene. I sold car to TV personalities, Top Gear, obviously. Blah, blah, blah. Who else has money to buy those sort of cars? Criminals. So I also sold cars to brothel keepers, drug dealers. Did I ask where the money came from? Did I fuck? Of course I didn't. And if I knew, then I pretended I didn't. You know, there's only so far you can go. Bloody hell. Money's money. Oh, Lord above. Oh, we need to go. How about Norman goes a thirdling and don't tell Sharon? Oh, that's quite cool. Simon and Carfunkel. That is quite cool. Simon's rusty nuts. I just had to walk upstairs to put my hat on so I could take it off to that name for the channel, Simon. Oh, right, okay. Watch out for bridges, French connection and cars. Oh, interesting. Mr. Soggy Boaty, Mr. Simon Soggy Boaty. If Ian is HubNut, then Simon could be head gasket. Oh, and Ben says, yes, read the car sale bids, follow that format. Thank you, Ben. I genuinely appreciate that. Definitely not Miss Hubcunt. And Cheeseburger says, the infidel will always be known as Hubcunt from now on. Oh, God, this is going to get demonetized. I might even get thrown off the entire platform. Will I be banned from eBay if I search for Hubcunts? Asks Ben. If I need one to complete my set of 4. Oh, God. Right, I've caught up, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake, it's late. Let's go to bed, you mad buggers. Hubcunt. Oh, what are we naming this video? What are we gonna... I can't call it What About Hubcunt. What were the other ones? Oh, let's have a look at the screenshots I took. Oh. Oh, I don't see one there. Hold on. Oh, Highland Toe was Ali Mac. Oh, this is the winner. It's not even a suggestion, but this is the winner. And it's from Pingu Concord. And this video is going to be called HubNut's Fun and Entertaining Cousin. Boom. Bosh. Thank you, Pingu. It was a suggestion for Simon, not for me, but I'm big fat nicking it for this video. So thank you very much. And, oh, let's bugger off, for God's sake. Here we go. got a point, cheeseburger. Demonetised, it's only 20p. Half the time it's not even that. Right, that's it. I've got supper to make. It's been a blast tonight, darlings. Thank you so much. Yes, possibly not as useful for Simon as it could have been, but hopefully he got something from the stuff last night and the stuff that he's getting on his own group and whatnot. So yeah, let's go to bed. Have a great night. Have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Please join me again at 11 o'clock tomorrow night for the Thursday mad random fun stream where God knows anything could happen. And above all, take great care of yourselves. Thanks again. Much love to you all. I'll catch you next time. Hub cunt.